Good?
All right.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's
Holy
better.
shit. All right. So go ahead. Let's jump right into it, man.
I don't even know if anybody, like, I was so profound and then everything crashed. I think it was just like everything just blew up.
Oh
So
my God. Don't
I
go.
have no idea where I went. I'm not going to drag on,
Well,
but
go
you know,
further, man. I think
well,
you're talking about kind of, you started with kind of these experiences for brands and what brands should kind of be
yeah.
rethinking. And
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, as I was saying before, I think it's really about, you know, getting back to fundamentals. And I think we, as all brands, need to ask ourselves, you know, what's our role in the world? And, you know, we've all been taught to jump in and be culturally relevant. And, you know, as I was saying, like the world right now is wrapped in this wild monoculture of pandemic, and
yep.
we all want to do our part. And I think we've got to be careful because, and we've seen all the backlash, and there was a lot of backlash last year. And I think people's bullshit meters are on like 11 right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, you have to be so careful. And I think really the question you have to ask yourself is, are we doing this because of us, or are we doing
Right.
this to physically, you know, really solve a need? And, you know, we've been trained and been so focused on authenticity as our brand and using digital to be sort of more humanistic and really create those authentic connections. And I really think we need to shift our lens now and focus on empathy.
Right.
And really ask ourselves, you know, what are our customers and what are folks going through and how can we help?
Well, that's a good point you make too, because like I was on another call today earlier with some other folks. I talked to Miami Ad School today, and the big question that came up is like, how are brands being authentic right now? Should they use this as an opportunity to kind of reach out and kind of have that conversation, or is it like pump the brakes? Like you need to be authentic about the way you're actually approaching these conversations.
Yeah, I think well, it has to be both, but I
Right.
think it's really starts with understanding and then in being authentic in what you say. And it's not about like shouting anything and selling anything you do. You know, it's not about selling right now. It's really about connecting and really truly understanding and helping.
Right.
Because I think, you know, I think that everybody's bullshit meter is going to be up there. And, you know, our culture strategists have to run on overdrive and really understand what's going on. And I think it's really about that. And, you know, so somebody had once said to me just very recently, you know, do we let the situation define us or do we define the situation?
Right.
And, and I think right now we
Good
have
point.
an opportunity to really sort of redefine and just challenge everything. All the assumptions, all the things that were truths are now assumptions. And we really can, you know, change the landscape, you know, do a lot with digital, really become very empathetic and really make true human connections through digital. And I think really solve a lot of problems that way. And I think, you know, that's really where we're hyper focused. It's a fine line right now. And I think it's really, you know, important.
Right. That's you make a great point, man, because it is it's interesting right now because a lot of folks I feel are trying to figure out like different ways to kind of reach people, and you're right, like you have to be authentic in the shit that you do because people will call you in a fucking minute.
Exactly. I think people know when you're faking it. I mean, I think a lot of what we do, we try to, you know, create great work, win awards, and it's not. I think this is the year we don't worry about awards. I think this is the year that we truly, you know, remake connections and really solve problems for everyone, including ourselves.
Right. That's a valid point. And I want to say to everyone else that's watching too, down on your comments, directly next to your comments, you're going to see a little box with a question mark. Go in there. You can actually type your questions, and then I can queue them up, and then we can then fucking just throw them up there, and people can kind of answer them. Paul, you should also say, can you maybe, like, some people might not know what you do.
So I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of TBWA World Health. So that's the health and wellness division within TBWA.
Right, dope. Anything else you want to add, man, before we try to bring on the next person?
No, but I see a lot of comments I agree with. Fuck awards, and it's going to be a time right now where we really sort of get back to fundamentals and really ask ourselves what's our role in the world, and you know, how do we really recraft our narrative in a good way. Right.
Dude, man, dope.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Keep coming in the conversation. Love to hear more from you, man.
All right, man. Yeah, talk soon.
All right. Dope. So that was really cool, man, and we appreciate that. I noticed a lot of people out there have seen a certain person in here that's really popping off, and look, like, we might as well just fucking have the conversation now, right? So, folks, I'm gonna actually bring on someone who I admire just for a lot of fucking reasons, and she can kind of give you a little bit of kind of like what she's done, how she's got here, and then really kind of a general understanding of her thoughts on this space now with coronavirus and how she's reaching out to individuals as well. So I'm going to go ahead and invite a certain somebody on here. And once she joins in, we'll start this conversation. But this one I'm really fucking excited about. Uh-oh, here she comes. Oh, SaWeetie, what is good?
What's up, Walter? How are you?
Good. Yeah, I am so happy to have you here and have this conversation, and it most certainly means a lot. But for some of the folks who might be on the other end and might not know, like, wait, who's she? Every one of you have heard her fucking music, right? So I'm just cue this up real quick. And the fee on the door, I'm gonna make this shit work. Yeah. This is my daughter. So can I tell you my daughter gets the clean version of that. But that is her jam. So look, again, we're excited to have you here, and thank you so much for joining. I think what will be really interesting, because what surprised me was not many people know that, like, you jumped off really quick in your career. Like it happened like really fucking fast, right? And a lot of that was due to the power of social media, right? And how you use those platforms. And now more so than ever, I feel like, again, like we were saying earlier, we have to rethink the way brands are kind of communicating with customers or consumers. And like you are a brand, right? You're your own brand. So can you quickly, I'd love for people to just understand like how you kind of started your career and your use of social media platforms and how you use that to kind of amplify your voice.
Okay, so I'm from the Bay Area, Sacramento. So since I was a kid, I've been wanting to do music. But I went to college. I went to USC, graduated in business communication. So marketing, strategy, planning out things are like skill sets that I got from college. So when it came to social media, I'm like, wow, like this is the new like street. Like I don't gotta stay on the street no more and hand out no mixtapes. Yep. I can literally like use it at the tip of my fingers, get some good lighting, look good, and then promote something. Yeah. And if the rap is good, it'll go viral. And I had a couple raps that went viral, and I got the attention of a lot of labels. So I feel like there's power in strategy. There's power in how you're presenting your product, because I'm the product. My music is the product. And then when you're doing that, staying on brand, it sort of like creates a consistency that people are expecting to get. So I feel like because I was consistent, my brand is icy, my brand is boss, my brand is college girl, my brand is sexy, my brand is fun, my brand is sports. Like there's just a lot of things that make me, I feel like that's what drew people in, because they felt like they're getting to know me through my brand.
Right. So now, and you're heavy on Instagram, clearly, right? So how has this changed for you? Because my assumption is concerts are now kind of out the door, right? There's no kind of idea of when they may or may not come. I remember you saying that you guys are supposed to right now be in the Bahamas doing your new album, right?
Yeah.
So clearly would have been a lot better to be there right now. So my question to you is like, how has this changed how you are now kind of having these one-on-one conversations with your fans?
Well, I'm more proactive on social media, actually. Before a minute, I went into just complete marketing mode and just posting what I'm promoting. But this allows me to get back to, the girl who wasn't popping before Icy Girl, before my type, and to get back to just staying in my house and literally planning what I want to do. So I feel like this has been a great artist development moment for me to connect with myself and as well as my fans. So I'm thankful that I am given this time, because I'm actually able to become a person again on social media, instead of just working and then posting what I'm working on. Like I'm trying to like go live more and respond to my fans and stuff like that, and people who support me.
Yeah. That's a good point you said too, because I think for brands, right? Because again, you're a brand. I think brands are really focusing now on like, how do we now turn around and support the people that supported us for so long, and how do we actually give back? And it's less about let's take advantage of the opportunity and do some cool shit and try to do a campaign, and more about now this is about giving, because we're in a time now that's it's fucking crazy right now. So then I guess I'll just ask one last question then, is how do you think that this changes now the landscape, like as we move forward, like 2 or 3 months from now, when we're finally back out in the streets and kind of going back to work, do you think this has kind of set a new tone for like how we move forward in at least like digital?
Different or like in what way?
Yeah, so I'll say, so my example would be that I think, let's take a bit like shopping, right? Like, so like there are a hell of a lot of people out there that shop and still go into stores. I'm one of them, right? With clothes, I have to go and touch and feel it. Like my wife will go and she'll buy up all kinds of shit online. It shows up at the door 2 days later. I think now we're in a position where we are forced to use digital platforms more often now and communicate more often through them and do things more often through them, that now when the time comes we're going back into the office or go back into the real world, I feel like less people are going to be going to stores because now they've gotten comfortable with doing things online. So do you feel that now, like even like with music consumption or the way you're now communicating with your fans on a more one-to-one basis, that changes things like moving forward?
Have you read the book The Power of Habit?
I have not. Oh yeah, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
I believe it's like it takes 3 months to create a habit.
Yeah.
Something like that along the line. So honestly, I feel like this just goes back into what we practice. So depending on how long this quarantine lasts, I feel like that'll determine where the shift would go. But when it comes to like people like me, I like going to the store. I like feeling everything. I like seeing it. I don't like ordering stuff online. So I think it comes down to the power of habit, and it comes down to people's ultimate preference.
Great. Amazing. Well, look, I'm excited you were here. Thank you so much for taking your time and stopping through. We appreciate you.
No, thank you. It was nice to hear the previous conversation and, gain some insight. Actually, I just want to add one more thing because, we are talking about how can people like communicate with their customers. And I feel like one thing that I love that I saw today is I love Urban Outfitters. And I saw that when I went to their line, they were informative on what they were doing. They let a customer know that they were, closing down during quarantine. And these are some things to, stay safe, and here are some sales we're having. But it was like a newsletter, like on the forefront of their page. And I feel like the best thing that we can do as brands is to inform and to really just connect with the people who have been supporting us, because without these people, we wouldn't be who we are, whether if, you're a personal brand or whether if you're a company brand. So I feel like this is the moment where everybody who are entrepreneurs and just CEOs of companies, how can we figure out a way to connect with the customers, supporters, fans in a nice, genuine way?
I couldn't agree with you more. I could not agree with you more. Well, we appreciate you. Again, thank you. You're heading out now?
Yeah. I'm social distancing. Don't worry about me. I'm good.
Be safe out there. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Dope. That was dope. So, all right, check us out. Cool. I think we're going to move into the next person right now. So give me 2 seconds now as we actually invite in the next individual to roll. Bear with me. Bear with me here. All right. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do a quick one here with another buddy of mine. Bryan, get your ass up in here, buddy. Yes.
I got a problem with that?
Yes, I'm digging the beard, man. This is looking good.
I'm gonna put on the light. Look at that.
Wait, hold up. This is a good look. Can we get a left? Can you get a right?
No, it's a bunker haircut.
Yes, but yo, that's what's up. That's a good look, man. Keep with it. You get it like mine, man. You gotta keep it down.
We're on 10 days now.
Yes. All right, so man, you heard a good 2 conversations, 2 completely different angles. Now, can you tell folks who you are, what you do?
Yeah, I'm Bryan Gaffin. I am the executive creative director at WildType, which is a World Health company. No, this was all cool stuff. Amazing conversation. I'd love to hear people talk about their brand, especially when they are the brand. And she's obviously got an amazing brand right now. So it was really cool to hear her talk about it.
Indeed. So check this out, man. I'm gonna hit you up with a question that just came through here. You see that there? Boom. Check that out.
Yes.
So the question here, then I apologize if I put you on the spot, was
no, it's good.
What do you suggest for brands with low budget that want to make a digital impact?
Okay, so this is where I'm in trouble. It's not that tough. The answer is that these platforms don't allow it. Yeah. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, if you can't spend money, they're not going to be able to do much for you.
Right.
They just don't. So I think what you need to do, to be honest with you, is I think kind of where all this is going.
Yep.
Is, for a while, I've been kind of thinking about digital and what's going to happen. And I think right now what we've really lost in all this with all the tech and cool stuff is customer service. And I mean that more from like a human touch, right? And we're seeing it now with, you know, like the people who really matter right now are the people who are taking care of us in the world. So, you know, the people that maybe you didn't look at last week, the guys who helped check out at the drugstore or help you at the grocery store. These are the crucial people in our world. And I find that when you interface with a brand online, we don't get that anymore. We don't get that face-to-face conversation. So I think brands that provide a more human touch are going to be the brands that work. So I would say to that question, if you don't have the money to boost your stuff on Instagram, you need to find people who might be people who like your stuff, influencers, and see if you can give them your product, your service for free, so that they'll help you promote it. You know, a good example of this is I have a friend, Woody Bats. He may or may not be on right now. He's got an amazing eyewear line, framed by Woody, or he thinks he just goes by Woody Bats at this point. They're amazing glasses. You should check them out. He gives them to people on the street because he wears them. He wears his own glasses. He wears his own glasses.
What's his name again?
Woody Bats.
Woody, hit me up, man. I need some new glasses.
He may or may not be. Oh, you'll love them. He literally, people on the street will be like, "Those are cool glasses," and he like pulls them out. These are glasses he sells for like $300, and he just hands them to people. He's like, "Wear them, post a picture, post a video," and that's what he does.
Hit me up, man.
He will do it. I promise. Kenny's on there. I see Kenny. Kenny knows Woody.
All right,
and that's really the way to do it. You got to find people who know and love your brand and talk about your brand and be authentic and real and not worry about getting the likes in the beginning, because you can't pay for it. So unless you're gonna spend thousands of dollars on Instagram, no one's gonna notice it that way. You have to really find somebody with an audience and get people to love your stuff first. But this is no different than it's always been, right?
Word
of mouth has always been that way.
That's true too, because there's something in like social validation is a real thing, right? Like if you get here we go. I didn't get my drink. Social validation is a real thing, man. If you get other people to talk about it and other people to start having these conversations, like it'll continue and build and build and build. It's fucking hard as hell though to get people to do that. And to your point, like if you can get influencers or people with real power, people with a real voice, like that stuff happens. I mean, it's a necessary thing, right?
Yeah. So that's where this is all headed. I think once this is all over, like the brands that are out there doing dumb shit with their brands, which, you know, I don't want to call out any brand specifically, but we've seen them, right? People who are like moving their logos farther apart, or like that's nonsense, right? That helps.
I know who you're talking about there.
But I've seen like 3 examples of it in the past few days. And those brands are not going to help the people right now who are really suffering in this economy. And I think that the brands that come out of this strong are the brands that do something for people right now who need it, that use their services. It's like 3M, right? They're just mass producing these masks. Or all these, like, I saw one that was like a Broadway, I think it was Javier Munoz from Hamilton, and he's like, I got hundreds of Broadway wardrobe people ready to make masks. And they're not working. So let's let them make masks. So find the things that people want to do and provide service.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. You're so bright. Any last words you want to get in, man?
No, I'm excited to hear what other people have to say. This is a really fun group of people that we were talking on LinkedIn on that comment thread. So I'm cool to hear somebody else.
That's what's up. I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, everyone. Be safe. Be kind.
Continue that drink, man.
Look out for your elders out there, okay? There's an elderly neighbor who needs your help right now. Go find that person.
Yes. Thank you, dude.
All right. Bye.
Take it easy, man. We've been getting some dope conversation for sure. Now I'm gonna bring up a young lady, Lisa Balzer. If you could actually send me an invite, or I can actually find you, Lisa. I know you're on here. I'm going through a giant list of names here, so it's like fucking Rolodex and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Lisa, send me a quick invite over here. I'm trying to find your name here. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. All right, Lisa, I'm gonna come back to you. I can't find your name right now. So this is what we'll do. I'm gonna invite up my boy here. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the names from this list, and I'm going through a giant list of like 180 fucking people. So I got my man come up in here. This should be a good conversation, my boy Gary. Gary, come on through, man. Up. Gary, let's see here. Gary, accept that, man. Waiting for you, man. Conversations, man. I'm really excited to hear what more people have to say here. And like I said, we got a really completely unique folks here that are hold on a second, joining in here. Oh, all right, Gary, you have some prompts coming through. All right, Gary, I'm gonna come back to you then real quick, man. I'm gonna go ahead and invite my boy Lance. Get your ass up here, man. Accept that, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Oh, shit, look at this. My man coming through.
What's up?
With the straight brim? Oh, no. What's good, man? How you making out?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. So this dude right here is like, my brother from another mother right here. I've known this dude for like 18 years, 19, almost 20 fucking years, man. We go back.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
If anyone knows.
The glasses are the same, and look at this beard action. It's the same too.
It's popping, man. It's popping. So yo, man. So let's start by we need to tell people, like, there goes Talise. She said, Lance. So tell everyone what you do first, man. Who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a head of marketing for a technology company called Pad Squad, and I help organizations with their overall go-to-market strategy. And the organizations that I'm helping are generally media and technology companies that serve agencies.
Yeah.
Agencies and brands come to these companies that are looking for help across a myriad of challenges, whether that be straight up advertising and media programs or technology issues.
Yep. That's dope, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a speed round, man, and give you a quick question from the audience. And again, for the folks down on the bottom, if you see next to the comments area, there's a small box with a question mark on it. If you go in there, you can actually submit that, and I'll get a queue up thing of questions, and then I'll be actually able to go ahead and ask folks that. Here's an interesting one, man. I hate to pop this on you, but B. Cora Kelly said that brands who are shifting from creating, I guess, ventilators, masks, etc. Is this a good way to behave in this time? Brands who are shifting from, yeah. So what are your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I think that there's as brands today, we have to think about how we're adding value to consumers' lives,
right?
And I think that that's an important component of any ad campaign, period.
Right.
In a challenge like this, doing good is kind of just important about being a CEO.
Right.
The thing that I have a hard time with, I think, is when people are disingenuous. So if there's this, like, I'm going to go big and I'm going to make a lot of noise about it, that's where I have a hard time, more so than if somebody pivots their business to be able to help. Elon Musk, like, everybody loves him or hates him. He went out and bought a bunch of ventilators. That's like a great philanthropic thing to do, but he didn't change his business. Mm-hmm. I think that 3M stepping up production and actually doing more work and delivering more product, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it kind of depends. I think it was interesting just hearing that people were saying, we're going to put people to work that are Broadway showrunners or costume designers. That's sick. I love that.
Yeah,
Why not put those people to work?
Yeah, it's crazy too, because on the news here, so for folks who don't know, I'm out here in Long Island. I'm like way the fuck out. And what's dope is that the other night on the news, they had tattoo parlors. And the tattoo parlors were literally getting together, and they're like, yo, we're not doing anything right now. So they decided we're just going to take all of our equipment and fucking bring this stuff to the hospital. And they're going out and trying to team up all the parlors to kind of get together and do this. So I thought that was pretty dope, man.
No, that's really cool.
So another question I have for you then, my personal question is, how do you see this shit, like, shifting, like, as we move forward? Because that's the one thing I like to hear from everyone that speaks tonight is, like, I'd love everyone to kind of say what they think, like how this changes the way we move forward in the entire digital landscape.
Well, to be honest, I think the biggest disruption that's going to take place is the office space.
Yeah.
I honestly think that as valuable, somebody who's been in WeWorks for 4 years or 6 years, something like that.
Yep.
I've had the opportunity working for working spaces forever, and I see a lot of value in them, but I don't think having a 1,000 person office as a, you know, a large scale company makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You're living out in the boonies and commuting like 90 minutes to work. It's not necessary, and not at least 5 days a week. So I think rethinking a campus is going to be a forever change.
I agree, man. And in my point of view, not to scare people, is like I also think that what changes when you start to do and shift that is that talent now, like right now, everyone competes against talent that's in their city or in their area, right? And now with companies that are now starting to do this work from home that were afraid to do it at once, are now thinking, well, shit, it's actually not that bad after all. And shit, maybe I don't have to pay this kid $100,000 here when I could pay the kid in Alabama 35.
Totally.
Right. So it definitely changes things, man. Any last things you want to say, man, before we get?
No, I think the only thing I'll say is that I really will follow up in the same way that your last guest followed up, and like being kind to one another is everything, man.
Yeah.
And looking at this time is not a negative thing, but as an opportunity to learn new things, to be exposed to new things, is really, really important. I've been talking more with my personal family more than I have like in years, and I think that's an important thing to do. And so just love each other, man. That's it.
I couldn't agree more, man. I love you, man.
Appreciate I love you too, brother.
Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
I'm gonna stick around for some questions.
Yes. Dope, man, dope. So I think we're gonna try to do this again. We're gonna add in another person here. And then we're gonna hop over to my boy as well. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can get, hold on a second, someone bear with me for a moment. I'm going through this list, and this is fucking gigantic trying to find these right people. Bear with me. We're almost there. So who I'm trying to look for right now is Lisa Webb. So Lisa, see if you can actually send me an invite real quick to hop on, because I'm like scrolling through this list and trying to find your name. And this is actually harder than I thought. All right. Some downtime here. Lisa, see if you can actually send me an invite to connect real quick. There we go. Let's see. There we go, and coming right now. And again, while she's loading up, everyone, please, questions. If you got questions down there next to the comments, there's a little box with the question mark. Please put it in there. Lisa, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
All right, so check this out. I'm going to do a little fancy background here because I forgot to do it earlier, and I'm starting to do it now. And like, Instagram's rolling out all these kind of fancy things now, features. So
I'd keep you on. That's better than
boom.
two of me.
Is that right? Does that look all right? Look at that. Fancy.
It feels weird, like I'm talking to myself a little bit though.
It's okay to talk to yourself. I talk to myself sometimes.
Well, let me tell you, in self-isolation mode for 12 days now,
yeah,
I am talking to myself.
You know what? And that is the perfect time to bring up this question then. Right? From John Duffield. John, what's up, dude? What will be the first... Well, no, hold on. Before we even ask this, can you actually tell us a little bit about what you do, who you are, and what you do?
Yeah, so it's a bit of an interesting time for me. So I have been in the business about 25 years. Okay. I started, my first agency job was at TBWA, actually. That's what drew me to you. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I was just a baby back then. So I have kind of gone back and forth between agency and client side in about the last 10 years or so. Opened up a consultancy and been doing that, working across sectors, everything from, I always say I sell gas, coffee, investments, whatever it is. And the last few months, I was on a bit of a sabbatical. I decided I wanted to become a yoga teacher and meditation teacher, spin instructor.
I can dig that.
So those skills have served me well now, let me tell you. I'm keeping me zen.
That's a good thing. We all need that right now. We need to do more of that. It's hard. Like I have a 5-year-old daughter, so it's difficult to kind of like get in your time. We're all running around, and my wife and I are doing the schooling thing. So tell us then, I guess, what from John Dufflet here, like what will be the topic of your first face-to-face meeting when your office reopens? I think that's an interesting question.
Yeah, interesting. Well, to be honest, at the moment I don't have an office, so this is a total hypothetical.
Well, then your first face-to-face, right?
My first face, yeah. Gosh, to be honest, I think everybody, I know I'm going to feel a little bit awkward, like in terms of like behaving face-to-face with people. I think there's going to be a little bit of an awkwardness and an effect of not being able to touch people. I'm from Toronto, but originally from Ottawa. I'm half French Canadian, so we are very touchy-feely. So I'm like going through total withdrawal now.
I get it. So tell us then, what is your thoughts? I mean, the one question I keep coming back to with everyone is like, how do you think this changes everything? And now, like, how do brands think about reaching customers, and how is that changing 2, 3, 4, 6 months out from now?
I think it was Paul maybe that said, we're kind of going back to basics. So I work in marketing, but really my passion is the branding side of things.
Yep.
And I'm a generalist for the most part. And I couldn't agree more. I think the foundation right now is remembering, the branding 101, that when a brand goes dark for a long period of time, it's going to take weeks and investment to get back to previous awareness levels. Any brand that, can afford to, because the reality are some brands aren't making money right now, but those that can in some way, even on a low budget, keep their voices high will benefit in the long run. Because we know, especially in times of low economic times of recession, it's those that stop talking to their customer base that are going to come out in poorer shape than the ones that are able to kind of keep their voices high. Now, obviously, any kind of marketing or selling or anything that's disingenuous is going to be completely insensitive and tone deaf right now. So I think rather than like a retail-based kind of media or messaging, etc., it's really about brand activity, but most specifically, it's about how can you help either your customer base, how can you be useful to them in this challenging time, and or to your community. So, if you're shifting your business from making alcohol to making hand sanitizers, like a lot of our local breweries have here, obviously that you're not necessarily talking to your target base anymore, but the message about how you're helping the community is one that a lot of people are going to appreciate. But I think the key is, how do you say that remaining genuine, that, this is not about taking advantage of a pandemic, for God's sakes. It's how can you come across as simply trying to be helpful in any way that you can at this time. I mean, really, the way I would put it is, it's about how, as a brand, you can put a metaphorical arm around people and, your customers and the community at the moment. And that can be in small, like seemingly kind of esoteric ways, or things that may seem trite. I'll give you just one funny example. A friend of mine went online to ask us, okay, she gets shellac on her nails. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but you can't take that off on your own. You have to go into the salon. So she's saying, what am I going to do? And so I emailed a local salon I've been talking to that I'm kind of working with, to say, hey, why don't you put something up on how you can take your shellac nail polish off at home.
Right.
So in theory, that would be cannibalizing your own business. But right now, it's going to be really helpful to those customers, right?
So I'm just curious, did they?
Not yet. I haven't heard back from them, because they literally, their stores have closed. So that's the situation here in Toronto. All non-essential services have closed. So all the stores have closed, but to their credit, a lot of the spas, nail salons and fitness studios and stuff, they've been closed for about a week now. Yeah.
Interesting. Very cool. Is there any last other things you want to say in terms of like the space, or what you would like to see brands doing more of right now?
I think stuff like I saw that, or I heard that Chipotle, for example, is hosting virtual hangouts on Zoom.
Chipotle is really?
Yeah, I heard
That's
that. I haven't seen it myself. Yeah, so I think like there are ways that you can create content and be helpful to your base in these kind of innovative times. I know because that's kind of the space that I've been in the last little while. My yoga studios and meditation studios, they were so quick to go online live on Instagram with free workouts. So they're not making any money.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Giving back.
Yeah, from a business perspective, it helps keep brand awareness up or building it. But just on a human level, like meditation, yoga, like those are things that I think would be really helpful to people right now, to give them a routine, get them to exercise, because that's always healthy mentally and physically, and also kind of just take a beat and relax for a moment. So I think if companies can, like, if you guys can tell your clients, your companies, to really make a big switch on their brief, if you will. It's about how can we be helpful to just people in the community, whether it's switching your production lines to something else, donating something, giving money, you know, to a company that's switching.
I love that. I love that. Lisa, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for doing this.
Appreciate you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Stay safe.
Yeah, stay healthy, everybody.
All right, so next one here, I'm gonna get my boy coming up here, Bonin, hit me up, man. Shoot me a quick one. There you are, right there. Shoot me an invite so we can actually get you up here, buddy. Where's he at? Where is he at? Bonin, shoot me an invite, buddy. Here we go. I got you right here. Waiting for him to connect. This is great stuff, man. We're hearing some good stuff here from folks, and I'm really excited about this. My man Bonin, as you can see here from the image, is coming correct with the energy. What's good, bro? Wait, can I hear you? Speak up. Uh-oh. See, we've got the audio going. You there? Nah, I can't make you out, man. There? No? All right, you know what? Maybe you want to close out, and then I'll invite you back in? What we'll do here real quick is I'll add in Chris. Chris, man. Join in, my man. This is Chris Rudnick, good buddy of mine here. See if you can join. All right. Oh, having some problems with Chris. All right, let's see what happened here. Let's see. Bear with me for a minute, folks. Let's see if we can get. Here we go. Yo, you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
I can't really hear you though.
You can't hear me? Is that a little better? A little better? If I speak up louder.
Well, I'll try my best.
All right, dude. Yes. 2 times in 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Yeah, man. I don't know, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hold up. Let me see if my headphones make it sound a little better for you, man. Let's see if this works here. Is that a little better? Can you hear me? No? No dice?
Hold on. What's this leave?
Technical difficulties. All right, so check this out. Let's see what happens when we get him back in here. And just for everyone else, just so everyone's aware, Instagram only gives you 60 minutes, right? So 60 minutes, after 60 minutes, then it's a wrap. And let's see here. And then we have to just restart. So just a heads up, at 10 o'clock, this is going to disconnect. We're going to have to come right back in. So we can see if we get him in there now. Connecting. Yo, you there? There? Can anyone hear me? All right, so Bonin might have to restart. No dice? All right. Yo, Bonin, check this out, man. Bonin, check this out. So I'm gonna, oops, let me hear. I'm gonna bring in, let's see, Chris, come through, man. I'm gonna have you come in real quick, Chris. And then we'll have Bonin come through the top of the next hour. Chris.
Hey.
What's up, man? How you making out, dude? I gotta check.
I look very different than my photo above.
You are not Bonin, that's for sure. Let's see. I gotta scroll through. I have to scroll through here and this is weird. So all these different features and having oh my god. Dude, I can't find your photo here. All right, so let's get this going. Chris, first, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do, my man? Sound, covering the microphone.
Sorry, I'm the Executive Creative Director of TBWA World Health.
All right, dope. Cool. So, Chris, man, I guess give us a 101 on your thought. Give us a 101 on your thought in the space, and I think you have a different view clearly in terms of like leading creative, right? So, like, what do you like? How do you think that brands should be kind of using creative and using kind of digital, like the platforms that we should use? Because I don't know that we've really broached that topic heavily yet.
Yeah, of course. Honestly, and it's going all throughout this board. Times are different right now, and I really truly feel like we are going to be talking about things before and things after.
Yeah.
And I really do think as human beings, we're all going to be different. We are all being forced now to look at ourselves really deeply to say, what's exciting for us? What's not exciting for us?
Yeah, yeah.
What do we want to spend our time with, and who do we not want to spend our time with? We've all joked about people not picking up their phones when you call them when you know they got nothing else going on right now. So I really feel like from a creative perspective that we really, truly need to find a way to relate and to get back to values and who we are as human beings. Not just values from a company and a branding perspective. I think that we always talk about digitally that we want to be more human with our interactions, that brands become people, and that people can interact with a completely new way, in a loving way, in a caring way. I truly feel like after this, we are going to have to use platforms like they were initially intended to be used for.
Great point. Great point.
The way that I say that is that digital has been vilified for a real long time. And it's been that thing that distracts people when they're eating dinner, or it's that thing that everyone says you've got 1,000 friends online and no friends in real life. I really do feel like people are finally using these platforms for their intended use, and it's actually brilliant to see it happen. And I think it's going to change the way we interact with others after this. I know that I'm interacting differently with the people in my life, but I feel like everyone's going to be interacting differently, and they're going to be using these platforms in a way that's going to be how it was meant to be, with values, with caring, with love, not with a text and not with an emoji to represent a really quick thought. It's going to be about more long formats, but I'm rambling.
No, that's a good point. No, that's a good point. I mean, you talk about longer formats and deeper connections. I almost feel like it is, how do brands actually take that emotional element and touch people's, right, in ways that matter? And so I don't, it's tough because I don't know what that answer is. Part of me kind of thinks about technologies, right, and the use of things like augmented reality, right? It's like augmented reality. I open up my mobile device, I can put someone here, and when we start to talk about like brands and like bringing people closer to each other, it's like, how can brands bring someone or part of them into an experience with you to have these more kind of one-on-one connections, right? And I think it's and we need to start thinking bigger and broader like that.
100%. I truly feel that we're going to be looking at these as different opportunities now, in different ways to connect. I think we're also going to be able to see very quickly the brands that don't adapt and the brands that don't understand what's really happening right now. But I think we're all going to need patience. I don't think anything I'm talking 3 or 4 months from now is way too soon. You're going to really see a change and a shift happen way after that. And I really do think that SaWeetie said something really interesting in that book that she read, that it takes 3 or 4 months to really form a habit.
Yeah.
I think digital platforms are typically habits, right?
Yes, yes.
Good and bad. And I feel like it's really going to start taking us a lot more time. And it's going to, we aren't going to really see these effects for another year or so of how society has changed.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, and just like a lot of people have brought up here, that it's going to be for the better. We're going to really start to appreciate community, local.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to lean into the things that we care about more and spend less time on the things that are taking us away from the things that we love.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything you want to wrap with, man, or any last thought?
No, well, I just wanted to thank you for this. This is brilliant. I'm really loving what everyone has to say, and I think the community just needs to keep on talking and spend a lot less time thinking about money and thinking about things like that, and a lot more time about thinking about others right now.
Agree 100%, man. Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Be safe, buddy.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, so check this out, everybody. This is what we're going to do. I have to close out of this live and restart the live. The reason why I have to do that is because Instagram will only allow you to go on for 1 hour, and then they just shut it down. So everyone, hop off real quick. We're going to hop off. I'm going to restart, and then we're going to get this popping. Bonin, we're going to start with you when we come in next, all right? Thank you, and talk to you in like 15 seconds.